how can we make sure that preparing for a conference talk goes stress-free? This is a question I get asked quite a lot, and I said, okay, maybe doing a video about it and clarifying some stuff would be useful. So first of all, I want to start talking about what is the problem and what we think the problem is, right? So first of all, I feel that many STEM professionals have this struggle of making the slides. Like once I have the slides figured out, then everything else will fall into place. The problem is that when you start building your slides, you realize that the actual problem aren't the slides, but your mental load of not knowing what to put where. And let me clarify a bit this one because I feel it's very important. Making the slides is just a consequence of our decisions that come before that, which are what goes where, what should we talk about, which part of our work should we include, which part of our work should we leave out, and so on. So that's the part that actually causes the most stress, at least from my experience, from my personal experience, and also from working with clients. So it's not actually building the slides that is the problem. It's deciding what should even be put into them and how to structure the entire thing. So instead of doing this, and instead of taking a moment to really think about what is it that I'm even trying to say to those people just start from a blank slide, and then of course you get stuck because it's a lot of pressure to take in a moment, right? Because there is this feeling of staring at the blank slide, you don't know what you even want to talk about, and this internal pressure that you put on yourself of having to know what should go where all of a sudden. And more often than not, this happens also to be at some point in which you are already so close to the deadline. Let's say that your talk is tomorrow maybe, or even the same day, right? So you are already feeling this stress, and you've already been postponing this preparation process. So chances are you're already very, very close to the deadline. So you add that stress, and you also then put even more pressure on yourself by requiring yourself to magically know what goes where and take all of those decisions at the same time, which is something that absolutely doesn't work. Because first of all, you put a lot of unnecessary stress on yourself. And second of all, because the decision of what should go where should actually come before. And it is very, I would say, not efficient to start from a blank slide. It is much more efficient. So what actually works is to learn how to structure your talk first. And you will do that by getting to know the people who are actually going to listen to you. And you might say, okay, but I don't always know the people who are listening to me. That's completely fine. But you always sort of get a sense of who your audience might be. And once you know how to analyze that, and once you know how to analyze the people who are actually listening to you, you're going to get very fast at realizing what should be put into your talk and what should be left out. And once you have those decisions made, only then you can go and start designing your slides, because this is actually the consequence. It becomes much, much easier once you already pre-made all the decisions, once you are already clear on who you are talking to, once you are clear on the message that you want to convey, and once you are clear on how you want to structure the entire thing, because that's actually the most time-consuming part, and that's actually what causes this low-key anxiety. We all know that feeling of low-key anxiety before your conference talk, when you have to prepare everything, when you have to make sure that everything falls into place, and you're feeling that, okay, I secretly hope it gets cancelled so I can finally rest. And that's actually what we need to avoid. We need to avoid this last-minute scramble where we don't know what even goes where, and then we put even more pressure to ourselves, and it's all kind of a mess and chaos, and we don't want to be in that situation. So the solution is actually, and if I can explain only one thing in this video, it would be that you should take your time beforehand. So take your time before you even start designing your slides and think about who you're talking to, what is your main message, and what is it that you want those people to know about your work. I guarantee that it will cut your prep time by half, because you're not going to be ruminating about what needs to go where, and you're actually going to feel much less stressed, because you're going to start designing the slides, designing the talk with the knowledge of what you want to say in the first place. Having said that, this is exactly what I teach in my coaching. So I coach STEM professionals on how to improve their communication skills. And one of the biggest modules is exactly that. How do I make my presentations feel stress-free? And the reason the stress is there is exactly that, because we go hands in with everything without knowing, without doing this due diligence before, and without actually making the effort beforehand, before we even start designing our slides. So if you are interested in this, if you want to learn how to make your presentations for your conferences completely stress-free once and for all, I want to invite you to my coaching program, and I will leave a link down below where you can schedule a completely free discovery call with me, where we can talk about exactly that. See what are your current challenges, your current struggles in your STEM career when it comes to communication, and of course, see if we are a good fit to work together. So I hope you found this video useful, and as always, see you in a few days in the next video. Bye bye.